Check one. Check one. Check two. Check one. Check one. One, check two. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check one. Check two. We're pushing all the right buttons today. Hey, hey, hey. Mr. Fauci, why did you lie to yourself? Mr. Fauci, why did you lie to everyone? Everyone, Mr. Fauci. It's time for jail for you. I think we're live. I think we're live. I think we're live. We are live. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody in America. We're going to talk about the Banana Republic today. Today is Banana Republic Day in America. Banana Republic Day. That's a better song. Banana Republic today. Yep, that's what we're going to talk about. We're living in a banana republic, says everybody. Says all the politicians, says the science. I think it happens when the meanings of words are officially changed. I think if you look back in political history, probably the first twosome or first powerful person to go on record as changing the meanings of words, like what, it depends on your definition of is. It depends on what your definition of is. That was Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton redefined the way that lies can be told from the place of importance, right? And so yesterday we saw Dr. Fauci, one of the clearly the most divisive figures in America. He came out. He was, assigned to come out in front of the people, or whether he did it on his own or was appointed to do it. Come out in front of the people and tell the American public and the world the science behind the COVID-19 pandemic. And if you disagreed with that, you were fired, you were bankrupt, you were mocked, harassed, abused, right? For not staying 6 feet. You were yelled at 6 feet away. Remember that lie? Stay 6 feet away from people. It's in the science. Masking children under 2 years old with no fucking science at all. Not really offering, but forcing vaccine on people. Some people couldn't, if they didn't take the vaccine, they got fired from their job. They lost their livelihood. And the masks, if you don't wear your mask, you're going to kill me. Right? All this nonsense, all this garbage. Right? Anybody with half a science background like myself knew when that was happening that there is no science behind wearing a fucking mask outside. Right? See people doing that. Or the 6 foot rule. And then, so we're going to look at that. Fauci took the stand. I would say that based on what he said yesterday in his congressional speech, Dr. Fauci, Marjorie Taylor Greene gets the big star for her questioning Fauci. We'll look at that. We'll look at that questioning, but really, Fauci has clearly lied based on what he said yesterday. When you roll it back to what he said 2 years ago or 3 years ago, all on the record, it's all recorded, it's all sitting in front of Congress, lying, right? So So Donald Trump just for hiring a lawyer to make a problem go away, hush money for a hooker, right, that he didn't want to go public, right? For that, 34 felonies, right? But Dr. Fauci can lie, can get kids, victimize children, victimize animals in the laboratory, lie about what exactly they're doing in these laboratories with viruses, gain of function research, to gain the function of the virus. All these things Dr. Fauci is highly guilty of, but why is he not? Why is there no action? Because it's politics. That's what it is. Fauci stands on the side of the sitting administration, and they back him. He has 100% backing. There's no way that Fauci is, going to suffer any consequences from these. So we'll look at those stories today. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Pseudoscience. Let's try to unwrap the pseudoscience and see what is fact and what isn't. Crypto Finds HQ. That is Board Annoying. Good morning. Good morning, Board. Weevil Girl in the house on the wrench. Good morning, Mr. Trucks. TRX. How you doing? Ms. Excuse me. Trucks. Chris Milk is in the house. Kaz Philly Camden, what's up? William R. Hall, the great artist from Syracuse, in the house. 6 foot safe, 4 foot danger. says our friend William R. Hall. We're gonna talk about these. This is my thumbnail today, right? We have to. I don't know if we still have to walk on eggshells on YouTube about the pseudoscience that was promoted for all of these years. And now we realize that there is no science behind mandatory vaccine or mandatory mask or mandatory 6 feet away from each other. Right? There is no science. These were philosophical opinions by one jackass, Fauci, who was the director of the NIH. He was the director of this and that and the other thing, and he had the CDC listening to every move. He had the president of the United States, Joe Biden, on the telephone. Right? It was this fucking guy did it. He orchestrated the whole thing, right? And pushed and pushed and pushed until people had no jobs left, until people were fucking sick from wearing a mask all day long. I never did that. For me, I raised my hand. No vaccines. Never wore a mask that I didn't have to. Like, the only time I wore a mask was sometimes in the supermarket just because I wanted to get in there and get out, but never more than 2 or 3 minutes. Never confined to a chair and told, you must wear a fucking mask or you can't be here. I chose not to be there over and over again. So, and the 6 foot lie was pure fiction, really. So we're going to look at these. Dr. Kill Patient. So my name is Marcus Conte. Educational philosophical reports like these that I've been talking about since I started. It's really just the truth. It's funny how all of the things that we're talking about now in terms of the unraveling of the COVID-19 scamdemic are now coming to fruition. Now, what are the true consequences of masking 2-year-olds and depriving them of their functional year, right? To a year or 2 years for a child in the first grade and second grade are lifetimes, right? Lifetimes of development happen in those years. What are the consequences of masking those kids? What are the consequences of forcing people to take vaccines and such, right? What are these consequences? We don't really know completely, but we do know that in the last 4 years, it seems to have driven the country into a state of banana republic, where laws don't make sense anymore. The idea of, I'm going to show you a video. William R. Hall brought this video to my attention. I'm going to play it, of children. The forcing of homophobia, the forcing of sexuality on children, the confusion in schools as to what a child actually is. You can't be just male or female. You can't be boy or girl, blue or pink anymore. There's so many more rainbow of colors and flavors to pick from. Right? We'll look at that fascinating video as well. But the point is that there does seem to be like a deep confusion as to what is right or wrong after the pandemic, right? And that was kind of predictable. Right? If you keep people 6 feet away from each other and scream at them that they're going to get each other sick, and force them to wear masks so they can't communicate correctly, they're communicating through a piece of paper and not being able to see anybody's face. Right? You really can't see my face right now, but I'm a professional. I know how to speak, man. I do this all day long. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when people are having, this is a little different. This is a broadcast, and you're mostly listening because that's the type of broadcast it is. You don't necessarily have to watch me. You just listen to what I'm saying, and it's as interesting. But for most people, it's required to see their face. Right? If you don't see someone's face, you don't know what the fuck they're saying a lot of times. Because there's a lot of context in that face. And so when you mask people for years, right, forcing them and convincing them that this is the right thing to do, and anyone not wearing the mask is a death trap, right? There are consequences to that, which we don't really know. These are really, they're unmeasurable. I think you measure them in the chaoticness of the country. The upside downness of the laws, right? To the degree one party yells and screams that they are right and that other party over there is wrong, to the degree that they will lie, cheat, and steal to prove someone wrong or prove someone right, I think is evidence of. I think it's unprecedented evidence of the pandemic. That's a wild trying to. It's a wild psychological and social warfare, says Cass Philly Camden. That's what I was trying to say. So good morning, everybody. Educational Philosophical live stream every morning. Marcus Conte on the Morning Report. We are live Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. right here in the United States of America, the great United States of America. We are still standing. We still have a flag. We still have a constitution. We have an election. Who knows what's going to happen there? A presidential election in America. Can America have a fair presidential election? Who's controlling the boxes? Who's counting the votes? Nobody knows, and nobody trusts the other. So how do you get a fair election? How do you get anything fair and free and non-biased in America anymore at these levels? You cannot. Right? So that's why shows like this, voices like yours, are important to keep the thing going. Right? So every morning we hear. And so let's start here. This is an interesting Banana Republic story. How come my shit isn't moving? How come my shit is frozen, man? Hold on a second. We're frozen. Why are we frozen? We're freezing. I'm frozen. Hold on a second. There we go. So we're almost not frozen. I'm freezing. This is my end. I got a problem here. I'm having a problem. I might have to dump this one. Here we go. Juror, well, I'll read while it's thinking. Juror, now check this out. Put yourself in this position. You're a juror. Imagine you are in a $250 million fraud case and have $120,000 in cash delivered to your door in a sack. Right, with a promise note that there's more to come, right? This is a true story. What would happen, right? So a juror in Minneapolis trial related to a $250 million stolen pandemic aid report. People were stealing money during the pandemic. They were saying, fucking everything is closed and we need the money, right? And they stole, in this case, $250 million. and they were on trial. And during that trial, someone walked to the door of one of the jurors and dropped $120,000 cash on the fucking steps. Right? Only known as Juror 52, a 23-year-old woman was not at home when the bag was dropped off. There's the bag. There's the money. Right? And the judge in this case took it as a bribe and arrested mandated them back to jail, all of the defendants in this case. But it does make you wonder about Banana Republic, right? This is the one time they got caught. They were Somali fucking people. They weren't savvy enough to realize that you don't drop 120 grand cash on someone's doorstep and expect it to, not be detected. Right? There's a slicker way of doing it, I guess. Right? But it does make you wonder how much bribery goes on in this fashion. Right? This is a sloppy version, but it's definitely happening. And I don't know, man. Would you take the money? If someone dropped 120 grand on you get jury duty, and someone drops 120 grand on your steps, right? Or I don't want to confess to crimes or promote crime, but it would definitely make you scratch your head when there's $120,000 sitting in your living room, right? For someone knocked on the door and left it. But anyway, so that's happening. And
happening in just a few hours. Opening statements are set to get underway.
Here's Hunter Biden, right? While all of this other stuff is going on, while Fauci this is the real story. The real story is the son of the president is up on 3 felony charges for wielding a gun while high on crack.
Hunter Biden's gun trial. First Lady Jill Biden was inside the Delaware courtroom as the jury was seated yesterday. The president's son is facing 3 felonies, all surrounding whether he lied on
this guy's a big creep.
Form when he bought a gun in 2018.
Of course he lied. He was high on crack in the videos and the photos. He's wheeling a 9mm. The guy's a fucking creep. Right?
Prosecutors say
guy's a creep. While he's over there in Ukraine stealing millions of dollars for Dada, the big guy.
About being addicted to crack on that form. Hunter Biden faces up to 25 years in prison. But experts say that's unlikely since he's a first-time offender.
He's gonna get probation. If Trump wins, Hunter Biden's probably gonna sit in jail for a year. So what is science? Let's talk about science. Science. Right? Remember science? Roll back to the days when you were in elementary school and you first saw your first Bunsen burner, right? And first test tube and your first exposure to science. I loved science when I was a kid. That was one of my favorite classes to get in science class. Right? And so science is a rigorous, systematic endeavor that builds and organizes knowledge in the form of testable explanations and predictions about the world. Right? That's what it is. It's a educated guess is what science is, at best. We pick and train the brightest people in the world to be scientists. It's mostly academic, and we can measure how smart they are by how many good grades they get. So science is a educated guess at best, right? It's not a mandate, right? Somewhere along the line, the medical profession has become a mandate, right? Where you go to a doctor and you say, the doctor says, well, you need to take this test, that test, and the other test. And you say, no, I'm not interested in that test, this test, and the other test. And the doctor says, well, how do we know if you're sick or not? It's like, well, you can ask me, first of all. And second of all, I listen to my body. Right? If I don't feel well, I'll let someone know. I'll let myself know. I'll say it out loud. And maybe I'll come to a doctor and tell the doctor about it. And we can try to figure out together. But the state of the medical profession is you walk in the door and you do what you're told. You shut the fuck up and you let the doctor run his shit over your health. I don't like that. I don't appreciate it. I don't respect it, and I don't sit for it. When that happens, when a doctor starts telling you what you need to do, in spite of the evidence on the table. You get up, you take your ass out of the chair, and you say, "Thank you very much, goodbye," and you walk the fuck out. Man. But science is under attack today. There's no doubt about it. Here's one. I mean, this is an oldie but a goodie. Colorectal cancer. That's when you got a tumor up your ass, right, in your colon, right? Your colon is, it's like a 6-foot tube, right, at the lower end of your body. Right? You might not know that. And food, that's the last place where food travels through before it makes its exit out the door. Right, out the other side, right? And sometimes if you eat the wrong stuff in that tube, cancer will evolve because you ate the wrong stuff, and it's feeding. Cancer loves junk food and fat and toxic and toxins, right? Because it weakens the body and makes it strong, right? Cancer can't survive unless you feed it. But here's the latest research. We've already known all that. Eat a healthy diet and exercise, keeping the lower body moving, right? Get out of the chair, right? If you're sitting 7 days a week and you're on your ass for hours and hours, you're at risk for these things because that's how it gets going. Right? You're giving it a chance you're giving these cancers a chance to get going by sitting on your ass, by eating garbage. Right? Smoking, whatever else weakens the body. Right? So, and we've always known that. Ohio State University researchers say the Western diet can disrupt the delicate balance of bacteria in your gastrointestinal tract. Now, that is one of the oldest known facts. I remember this in writings from the 1950s. The 1960s, authors like Adele Davis, guys like Noel Johnson. There was all these nutrition experts in the late 70s, early 80s that they were saying this then over and over again. Why is that so? Why do we even need to repeat that? You might ask, well, what is the Western diet? Well, drive down the highway and find out, and you'll see. What do you see when you're driving around in the middle of America? What do you see? Do you see home cooked, delicious, organic food, or you see McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, and Taco Bell? Which ones do you see? 7-Eleven, right? Go get your Slurpee and your fucking your fake hot dog, right? Or whatever people get at 7-Eleven. We don't. That's the Western diet. We don't have a fair diet in this country, right? We have good food. The options are there. You just have to go to the grocery store and find it. Right? So anyway, these guys are talking about. I don't even want to talk about this anymore because it's so stupid. So they're now targeting. It looks like they're targeting young people. With colorectal cancer because they can't push it on older people anymore. They want to go up your ass with a scope and look around, have a look, right? And in that scope, while they're up your ass, they got a pair of scissors, and they're looking at a screen, chopping things, cutting pieces of your fucking colon out while they're doing this. It's so invasive, right? And you're asked to drink barium fucking radioactive drink, right, before this to clean out your colon so that your colon is empty so that they can see it. You know how destructive that is when you fucking try to, forcibly clean the colon like that with some kind of chemical? Very, very bad to do. Right? Don't do that, right? Don't do that. You're better off not. If you're going to have to do this, don't eat for a few days, and your colon will clear out, right? Or you can do a colon cleansing by spraying water up the ass. Right? They don't do that in this country much, but water cleansing up the ass is very, very good. You fill the colon. It's done all over Asia. You fill the colon up with water. And give it a little shake and a rub, and then push it all out, and you're cleansing the the colon. Right? We look at that here as barbaric and ridiculous. Just give me a pill so I could shit it out. All right, but anyway, so that's what's going on there. So look at this. Again, I'm hopping on the idea that we're in the banana republic now, and what is being taught in schools is not just about your health, 6 feet away, and people like Fauci and such, but what about your actual sexuality, right? Sexuality is on trial too in the banana republic. Not even sex, your sex. Not sex like having sex, but your biological sex is in jeopardy, is in question. You're not really a man. You're not really a woman. You're something else. It's a good video. Thank you, Media Bear. Thank you, Media Bear. Groom you.
I'm going to give you my explanation about what it means to be transgender as well. So when babies are born, the doctor looks at them and they make a guess about whether the baby is a boy or a girl. Sometimes the doctor is wrong. I'm a man, but when I was a baby, the doctors told my parents I was a girl.
So of course we have he, him, his, himself, and
These are your educators, by the way. This is happening in a school near you.
them, theirs, themselves.
Important things to remember: not everyone who has a period is a woman, and not every woman has a period. Period. Accept it, move on. It's good advice.
You remember people like this? How many did you meet during the pandemic? People that were fucking crazy about germs. They had gloves and carrying this shit around and spraying everything, right? They would spray you, literally. Like you go into a store and you touch something and they come over there and spray the whole fucking area. They're crazy people, right? Crazy germ freaks. Stay away from me, motherfucker.
You that your lack of education is harming you and harming your ability to connect with yourself.
Do I invalidate my spouse's stance as a trans femme person?
I feel like I have to maintain a certain body type to be accepted. I get shamed when I express any sort of sexual desire. I feel like I'm not taken seriously in the workplace.
That's because you're a cartoon character.
Non-binary humans exist, and we legally are acknowledged now.
You cannot talk about traditional families or a family with a man and a woman. You won't be able to celebrate Mother's Day or Father's Day in school.
My rainbow hair with leopard print. I've got my rainbow glasses.
I'm a preschool teacher. Recently we started wearing pronoun pins.
She said pronoun pins. I almost threw up.
What other examples of heterosexuality prevalent in K through 3rd grade can y'all come up with?
This isn't my body. These are my reactions, my memories. I have like 30 people living in my brain and everything.
These are real teachers, by the way. This is real.
Hi, I'm a queer teacher. I talk about gender assumptions, pronouns, all the things. Us existing is not normal.
Trans women, regardless of their stage of transition, experience a much more secure form of womanhood than TERFs and other transphobic cis women ever will.
Hello and welcome to Zerstory class. Please open your instruction manuals to Chapter 1. The past is just as gay as the future.
The past is just as gay as the future. Oh man, that's a fucking great video, man. Thank you, Media Bear. Thank you, William, for bringing that to my attention. It was a good one. So let's talk about Fauci. Fauci's God complex destroyed trust in American institutions. Right? We're gonna look at this. Here he is. Yesterday, he's down there. I don't think I want to talk about it. Let's listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene fucking hand Dr. Fauci a new fucking set of testicles. Watch this.
You were quoted on CBS Face the Nation saying it's easy to criticize, but they're really criticizing science because I represent science. Do you represent science, Mr. Fauci?
I am a scientist who uses the scientific method to gain information.
Yes, you said you represent science. Do you represent science, Mr. Fauci? Yes or
Again,
no? Yes or no?
No, that's not a yes or no
Yes,
answer.
it's a yes or no.
I don't think it is.
You had said that you represent science, and now you don't think it is? That's a lie right there. I represent the science, he said. And now he doesn't represent the science. He can't say yes or no. Does he represent the science?
Okay, well, we'll take that as a you don't know what you represent.
Oh,
But this, as director of the NIH, you did sign off on these so-called scientific experiments. And as a dog lover, I want to tell you this is disgusting and evil, what you signed off on, and these experiments that happened.
Animal experimentation is disgusting and evil. There's no doubt about it, right? They mutilate and torture. They mostly torture fucking animals. And why beagles? Why dogs? Why this particular dog gets the butt end of it? I don't know.
To beagles, paid for by the American taxpayer. And I want you to know Americans don't pay their taxes for animals to be tortured like this. So the type of science that you are representing, Mr. Fauci, is abhorrent, and it needs to stop. Mr. Fauci, you also represent the type of science where you confess that you made up the COVID rules, including 6 feet social distancing and masking of children.
I never said I made anything up.
You admitted that you made it up. You
I
made it
didn't
up
say
as you went.
I made it up.
So are you
What a
saying this
liar.
is fake news, Mr. Fauci?
I didn't say I made anything up.
What did you say?
I said that it is not based in science and it just appeared.
So the 6 foot rule, the 6 foot is not based in science, and it just appeared. Isn't that very different than what he said the last time? Remember back in the day, that the 6 foot rule was science. I am the science. Whatever comes out of my mouth is science.
But this is science.
What does dogs have to do with anything that we're talking about today?
These are scientific.
What a fucking brutal comment to say about the dogs. What the fuck do dogs have to do with anything?
Just appeared.
But
This guy's a snake.
Science.
What does dogs have to do with anything that we're talking about today?
These are scientific.
What do dogs have to do with anything today? We're talking about fucking science, you idiot. You fucking moron.
Scientific experiments. This is what you signed off on. But you also scientific experiments. This is what you signed off on. But you also told the American people they had to distance by 6 feet. They had to wear masks. But let's also talk a little bit further about the type of science that you represent. NIH scientists made $710 million in royalties from drug makers, a fact that's been hidden. Let's talk about the fact about, is it right for scientists and doctors getting paid by the American people, government taxpayer paychecks to get patents, where they're paid millions and hundreds of millions of dollars in royalty fees, especially when the NIH and these government agencies, most powerful agencies in our country, are recommending medical suggestions and advice and making up guidelines like 6 feet distancing and masking of children. Do you
It's a brilliant commentary, it really is.
think that's appropriate? Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci? Because you're not doctor.
Mr. Fauci.
You're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes.
His microphone isn't on, jackass.
No, I don't need your answer. I want to talk about this right here.
Mr. Chairman,
Fauci, I reclaim
Mr.
my
Chairman,
time.
objection.
I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time, Mr. Raskin.
Gentlelady will suspend.
Mr. Chairman, of order. Just in terms of the rules of decorum, are we allowed to deny that a doctor is a doctor just because we don't want him to be a doctor?
All right, so they're gonna argue a little bit about her calling Fauci Mr. Fauci, not Dr. Fauci, right? She's not allowed to address the jerk off as a jerk off. She has to acknowledge him by his correct title. What kind of fucking shit is that? So let's just go ahead a little bit. Look at the supermarket.
To throw out the first pitch at the Washington Nationals baseball game while Americans were forced to stay home
Yes,
and
Fauci.
watch such events that they love from at home alone on their televisions. And what a hypocrisy this picture shows.
Yep.
Here you are without your mask, with empty seats everywhere. Remember the cardboard cutout fans? That was one of the most insulting things to Americans, having to watch the games from home where you got to go and enjoy the game and sit right next to people not following the 6 feet
What about the players playing the game?
of distancing, not wearing your mask, and everyone else was forced to stay home and stop enjoying life. And your science here, your science is displayed perfectly in this picture where children in school were put in plastic bubbles because of your science.
Unbelievable.
Your repulsive, evil science. And let's go back to your very own email. You said earlier you don't use email. Oh, you do. Right here. This is your own email where you said the typical mask you buy in the drugstore is not really effective in keeping out virus.
No mask is effective at keeping out virus. No mask. There is no mask. It's the way it can only be, look, a mask in the medical profession is used very specifically in operations or in infectious control units. You put the mask on with sterile hands. You don't touch the mask. You breathe in and out right through the mask. And then at the end, you remove the mask. If you touch the mask in any way with your hands or, take it off and put it in your pocket and pull it out of your pocket and put it back on, it's not infectious control. It's worse because you're infecting the mask with something in your pocket or on your hand. You're literally inoculating the mask when you put it on for the second time. And these are things that are known in the medical profession. Walking around outside with a mask to prevent yourself from catching a germ is ridiculous, right? There's nothing in science that would suggest that. Some people will wear a mask outside in polluted areas. Sometimes it can filter out some of the dust and dirt in the air. That's true, but it's not going to weed out germ, right? If you're doing like construction and you're in working a fucking jackhammer with dust in your face, then a mask outside is worthy. But that's not what people were doing. They were walking outside in the park, right, where you're supposed to go out and get fresh air and work the lungs, and they're out in the park breathing through a fucking contaminated mask, right? That was all true.
I do not recommend that you wear a mask. This is your email. This is your own words. But yet children all over America were forced to wear masks. Healthy children forced to wear masks, muzzled in their schools. And then they were forced to learn from home because of your so-called science and your medical suggestions, while you and all your cronies get paid from Big Pharma. You know that what this committee should be doing? We should be recommending you to be prosecuted.
Yeah.
We should be writing a criminal referral because you should be prosecuted for crimes against humanity. You belong in prison, Dr. Fauci.
Wow. Holy smokes. Marjorie Taylor Greene for president. How about that? Here she is after the event. Let's listen to her spin afterwards.
More importantly, what I'd like to hear from our committee is that we need to be writing criminal referrals for Dr. Fauci.
Why do you think that is?
He's guilty of mass murder. I mean, Fauci he's an absolute monster. He should have his medical license revoked, and he should be charged and tried for crimes against humanity.
At a bare minimum, he should be charged for lying to Congress, right? Because that should be the remaining holy grail, right? When Congress invites you in to speak, and you come in there and just lie, cheat, and steal, for that you should get a year or two in jail, I think.
What should now that this conviction for Trump, what should the speaker do in retaliation of this conviction?
The Speaker of the House is one of the most powerful people in the country. We control the budget. We control the power of the purse. If Speaker Johnson actually supports President Trump like he claims, he should stop the special counsel Jack Smith, and we should be using the power of the purse to hold New York accountable for the sham convictions against President Trump. The entire thing is political.
Yeah.
It's outrageous, and our country is completely turned a corner.
Even if it leads to a government shutdown in the fall?
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. We're a banana republic. I mean, it literally does not matter, and that's how people feel. Banana republic. I mean, it doesn't matter anymore. We're a banana republic. It doesn't matter anymore. We're a banana republic.
Did I hear it?
It doesn't matter anymore. We're a banana republic. I mean, it literally does not matter, and that's
Doesn't
how
matter.
people feel. This has come to the point where they are going to try to put President Trump in prison with these fake felony charges and convictions. They're absolutely fake. A legal expense, yeah, that's what you write for paying a lawyer. That is literally what you write. We aren't a serious country anymore. We're literally a banana republic. So what does it matter funding the government? The American people don't give a shit.
And then just kind of back to the hearing, we just heard from Congressman Jamie Raskin. I mean, he says Republicans are pushing a medical big lie with this hearing. How do you respond to that?
What part of it is a lie? I didn't hear his comments. What is he saying is a lie?
Well, he's just suggesting that you all are kind of pushing this without any substantive evidence in terms of holding him responsible for.
She's like, that's a loaded question. What you guys are coming in here promoting lies, and she Majority Taylor Greene basically said, "What lie? What are you talking about?"
The Jamie Raskin, who's a communist. Yeah. So where's the lie? Millions of people are dead. Gain of function research. Fauci allowed the grants to go to EcoHealth. Gain of function research was used creating COVID, taking a virus that was spread among bats, changing the virus.
We don't know that for sure, but we can almost guarantee that the coronavirus as we know it was created in a laboratory.
Virus where it
That we know.
transmissible between humans that led to killing millions and millions of people. Where's the lie in that? Everyone knows it's true. We all lived through it. And look at how everyone's lives were.
We don't know particularly if it came from Wuhan. I think the jury is still out on that. Where did the coronavirus, where was it created? Was it created in a lab in China, or was it created in, Fort Detrick in fucking the United States, or some other military viral lab? Right? We don't know, but we're almost certain that it was created by, quote, the science, based on the fact that it couldn't, a virus like that with those types of characteristics couldn't have mutated naturally. We know that to be true. That's a truth. There's no way when you look at the genome, when you look at the under a microscope, the coronavirus, it's clearly two recognizable things cut together. Right? That's what we've come to understand. And there's no other way to do that other than doing it manually in a lab. That's how it was created, right? But as far as it was created, at the Wuhan lab, nobody knows that. Nobody knows that for sure. If everybody in the United States is saying it happened at the Wuhan lab, it's very, very likely it happened right here, and they're trying to push the blame on China.
Or changed. I mean, it's unbelievable.
All I say is show me the evidence that it came out of Wuhan, and there is none. No one can confirm that.
Suicides went up. Our lives ended as we knew it. People had to stay home. People had to isolate. All at Dr. Fauci's made up science. So I don't know where the lie is that Raskin is talking about. The only liar I know of on the committee is Raskin himself.
All right, so ding ding. That was pretty heavy, right? Pretty heavy. And we're open. We're open. The markets are open. It's 9:45 New York time, and looking at red. We're looking at red. Nasdaq down 36. Dow Jones Industrial Average flat. I'll call that flat. It was up. It was down 2 cents. Now it's up 2 cents. S&P 500 down 9 points. Not a big deal. Still watching GameStop. GameStop $26 a share. There's a squeeze going on right here with GameStop. Not today, or maybe later today. We'll look at that one in a second. What else is going on? How's the old Bitcoin? Bitcoin, where are you? I can't see you. Bitcoin, come to me, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's down $430 today, 69.5, hovering around $70,000 a share. Very impressive. Very impressive. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Boeing, the military-industrial complex stocks are the only thing that's green today. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, all mixed. Do we even care about those anymore? Big board, Apple Everything's red right now. Yeah. So stocks slip at open as U.S. economy starts to show cracks. What fucking cracks? How's NVIDIA doing? NVIDIA is flat, only down $1 today, at $1,149. Imagine that shit, right? A few months ago, we were talking about, I don't know, it's $400. I think it's too high. It's $400. It's going to go down. And it went to, NVIDIA went to $1,150 at the moment. That's fascinating. Let's look at GameStop. GameStop, that's the big one right now. Bing, boing, bang. It's bouncing around. Looks like it's bouncing around, down, it's up. Let's see if we can get a run off the bottom with this. Give you my opinion of GameStop. Come on, man. Where are you? I'm having some issues this morning. I'm having some slowdown issues. Yeah. My pages are frozen. I'm sorry. I can't really work with you there. Oh, here we go. Huh? No, hey, oh, 5 day. Oh, there we go. All right, so that's the 1 minute, the 5 minute. Let's put a 15-minute chart up. 15 minutes. All right, so here we go. On GameStop, are we going to get another squeeze? We're down $1.82 to 26 right now. Is this thing going to bounce back up? I think it will. I think it's already closed the window, and we'll probably do another gallop. That squeeze was brutal, right? If you were short at 22 and you woke up in the morning and that shit was 56 or 46, you were fucked. Now it's back down to 25.91, and I would say a lot of the shorts will try to get out of there, and a lot of people know it. I'll say GameStop. I think GameStop is going to squeeze higher from 26 right here. That's my opinion, just looking at the chart. It's running out of gas right here, but that's a good time another time for it to bounce. So that's all I got today. Morris County reporting on the Fauci debacle, the state of America, the banana republic that we've become. And I think as we head into the political season, Democrat, Republican, on both sides of the aisle, voters, I think that, here's what I think. I think most people, they want a free and fair and just and safe place to live. They want the same America. They want an America full of opportunity and love, and fairness, right? And unfortunately, the two sides see each other as the problem to get that, right? The only thing that stands between life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is you, motherfucker, because you support Trump, motherfucker. I think essentially, at the end of the day, taking politics out, most people want the same thing. They want a comfortable place to be. They want to trust their government. And I just think that is deeply, deeply troubled right now. Right? That the polarity of sides, the right and the left, are so fucking wide. Right? Wider than I've seen in a long time. Like, why is the gap between what people can say to one another so wide without there being fights? The other thing about politics is people stop talking about it for a while, right? It doesn't mean it went away. Remember, elections are in 5 months, right? 5 months from now, everybody's going to get over the summer. They're enjoying the summer right now. It's beautiful weather. But come September, right around Labor Day, watch how this shit is going to heat up. You're going to have yelling and screaming and riots and fucking cursing and all kinds of craziness is going to pop up again online. Some of your feeds are going to get jammed with ridiculous, nonsensical memes from people that you once thought had a brain, relatives. But anyway, man. So I'll see you guys, man. I'll play some. Do I want out? I think I want out. I think I want out of this banana republic. Can someone get me out? I think I want out of this banana republic. Where should I go? You know? Banana republic. Banana republic. See you guys. Marcus Conte reporting.